We're getting there, brother.
All good, man. Choke that sucker down.
I got 2 minutes.
All good. If there's one thing with Bug Life and Pitted, we've never been shy about eating or drinking on there.
True that. True that. All right. Let me do a little switcheroo here. Oh, how much time do I got?
T minus, I don't know, 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my computer is saying 7:58 p.m. So we're still on time.
All right. I got 1 minute.
Nom, 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 nom.
Well, I'm stoked to catch up with you today. Wow.
It's all good.
Results times 13 is watching. Chris, welcome.
What up, Chris?
Yeah, Chris. I see the YouTube chat box here. I got 1 minute. I'm gonna take one last bite.
Go for it. Manny V, the master of good times, good waves, and good eats. Always.
All right, Jackson, rock and roll, brother.
All right, let's do this. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 296 of Bug Life, pitted with action and Manny V. I'm coming to you from North Carolina. Where you at, Manny?
Well, I'm actually in a pretty awesome restaurant here outside or in the outskirts of downtown Rosarito Beach in Baja. I'm on my way to pick up my car. It should have the last of its things that need to be fixed, and then I'm good to go.
Back up and rolling with the Baja Mobile. I love the sound of that.
Yes.
All right, so let's kick this off with shout outs. My shout out today goes to Kim Norick and PMA Pete Anaya at Custom X Bodyboards. They actually surprised me with a phone call today. I was sitting waiting to get my hair cut, and I see Kim Norick's number pop up on my phone, and she's got PMA on speakerphone. So I got to talk to those two for a little while, completely out of nowhere. And you know what? It put the biggest smile on my face. I am happy that I have the opportunity to continue on with Custom X, answering some online questions, email questions regarding orders and materials, working as a sales rep and a brand ambassador. And, even though I'm not working at the factory anymore, I'm not really a member of the pro team anymore. I am still part of the Custom X family. And, I wasn't sure how things were going to shake out with me being landlocked in North Carolina and, trying to get myself right with all my health issues and injuries. But, they have been nothing but 100% supportive.
That's freaking pretty awesome. How are they doing? What'd you guys talk about?
Oh, they're doing all right. We talked a little business, everything from, my W-2 that needs to get mailed out to, talking about our shared love and interest of North Carolina. So,
Well,
you know what? It was a good conversation. I hated having to cut it short to go get my hair cut, but my hair and my beard were getting a little out of control. I was starting to look like young Santa Claus.
well, you look really sharp now.
I feel better now that I got my hair cut, and my beard trimmed. I don't look so feral.
I can barely make out the logo on your beanie. What is it?
Oh, it's the Fury of 5 logo. It's an F, a skull for the O, and a V, and sort of a street graffiti style.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, if I can throw out another little shout out, I want to wish a happy birthday to the lead singer of Fury of Five, uh, James Ismeen, otherwise known as Stickman. I've known Jim and the Fury of Five guys for a good 30 years now, and I'm happy that they're still playing shows, still making new music, and still going hard as fuck.
Sick. Do they tour? Are they touring?
They've done some shows out on the West Coast. I saw them a couple of years ago in Long Beach while I was living in San Diego. They've been doing stuff on the East Coast, primarily New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. They have shut down to do some shows in the southern states. Hopefully, they come around Charlotte and my neck of the woods, and I get to see them sometime soon. If not, I might have to cruise back up to New Jersey one of these days for a weekend trip just to see them play out and maybe hit some waves with the boys.
That would be sick. All
So,
right. Shout outs on my end would be going out to Goody. He is the owner of Alternative Surf up in Seal Beach. And when the waves are big, bodyboarders are the last to shy away from the big surf. And Goody, yeah, unfortunately, he got
Seal
called
Beach will put it on you.
he got called to the waves at Seal Beach. And if you don't know anything about those waves, it's pretty much a perfect A-frame shore break, which means if you eat shit, chances of you hitting the ground are going to be pretty high. And unfortunately for some, including Goody, Mother Nature will hurt you. And I don't know exactly what he said he broke, and I just heard punctured lung. I heard ribs on the front end, on the backside, and just a whole slew of just craziness. And he's alive to talk about it. So the fact that he was able to like five,
Five broken ribs and a punctured lung.
oh my, yeah. So anybody that can come out of the water, luckily, when it's good, it's crowded. When it's crowded, everybody's watching out for each other. And I'm sure he's going to give big thanks to those that helped him get out of the water on the backboard or whatever happened that day. I did reach out to him. I'm like, hey, whenever you have time, and if you want to talk about how crazy Seal Beach can be, I'd love to talk to you about your experience. So he said a thumbs up, and when he's ready, he's still in the hospital recovering right now. So we'll talk to him when he's good and ready. But yeah, shout out goes to Goody for freaking not dying on us and still sticking here and being around for all of us that love him.
All right. Well, that was part of what I had for bodyboarding news, so we may as well just roll right into that. Um, Seeing as how Goody runs alternative surf and this injury is going to cost him a pretty penny, not only for the medical expenses, but time out of work. Uh, a GoFundMe page has been established to help
Oh,
with his recovery fund, and I don't know if you're able to pull it up right now, but
yeah.
I went to as soon as I saw the GoFundMe link, I went there and made sure to donate. And I'm
Where is it?
if you go to either his Instagram or his Facebook, the link is posted. And I went there immediately and donated. And I'm encouraging everybody else to do so. Goody does so much for the bodyboarding community, and for me, it's only right to pay it forward.
Totally. I agree 100%. As soon as we're done here, I'll go get on there. So let's see. I'm on their alternative surf Instagram page. Let's go to their link tree. See if they got it there. No.
You might have to go to his Facebook page. One of his most recent posts has the link.
Okay. So it would be there it is. Goody Mob 562. There it is. All right. So yeah, it's gonna be on his Instagram. Goody Mob 562 GoFundMe link is right in his bio. Click on that, and then you'll get shot over here. So yeah, they're only asking for 15K. That's that's going to be totally doable. Chris, I know I'm going to. Jackson, you already did. So I'm gonna leave this open. So when we're done, I'm gonna hit it up. But yeah, shit. Do whatever you can, you guys.
Yep. So, well, intro my news with that. On a brighter note, something that really got me stoked, Jimmy Hutef has sold the foam company to none other than Jacob Romero.
Oh my goodness.
Jacob has been a team rider, an employee, and now he takes over the reins as the store owner. And I could not be more stoked for everybody involved. For those of you who don't know, for you bodyboarders that have been living under a rock or under the disillusionment of the surf industry, the foam company is the top selling bodyboard company in Hawaii. It's bodyboarder run and operated. And I mean, this is like the third generation of ownership for the phone company, and it continues to carry on the legacy in Hawaii.
That's freaking awesome. Here's the crazy part. They have another kid on their way. So owning a business and having another kid on the way, he's definitely has his hands full. But I got a surprise as well. So when you're before we move on from the foam company news, let me know. I want to throw out a little secret surprise.
Throw it out there, brother. Let them have it.
Even though he has a kid on the way, and even though he's a new business owner, we are in talks right now to make a 1 week bodyboarding trip to Puerto Rico in the first week of November. So he's all in. It's just a matter of connecting the dots with the right people. And it looks like Epic Surf Tours bodyboard trip to Puerto Rico is about to go down in the first week of November.
Count me in. We've talked about various trip possibilities later this year. Puerto Rico, you, me, Jacob, whoever else, count me in. Done deal.
I
I'm
know
on it.
I know the Husky boys, they're going to want to take dibs as well, but for sure you're on that list. This trip's going to sell out. I mean, Jacob in Puerto Rico with actually when I get off the phone, I'm going to call this person to see if he will be our local guide. So that's going to be a double bonus. So yeah, Jackson, I'll let you know as soon as I get the details.
Serendipity, bro. If you look at my social media, a couple days ago, I woke up from dreaming about my first trip to Puerto Rico back in 97.
Oh
That's
my,
1997, last century. And you know
perfect.
what? I'm dreaming about it. You're putting it together. It's meant to be, bro. You can count me in 100%.
Nice. All right. That's it for me bodyboarding news. Well, I lied. I got a whole list. But please.
Well, I'm not done. And this next one is news. It's also my first tirade of the fucking year.
Let me pull this up.
I think you
Yoo-hoo.
know what's coming.
I pulled it up. I saw a couple comments and go ahead.
The IVC has announced its 2025 World Tour. And I would use air quotes, but they don't even deserve that right now. Um, on the schedule for the 2025 IBC World Tour, Morocco in February, Iquique in Chile in May, Itacochara in Brazil in late May, early June, Sintra in September, the Wahine Pro in Brazil in September. And those who don't know, the Wahine Pro is women's, junior women's, and master women's. and then Fronton in October. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Morocco, Iquique. I love all these events. But this is quite possibly the weakest schedule they have put together since the IBC took over from, the APB. And if you're wondering why I'm griping about this and saying it's the weakest schedule, in years past, whether it's the IBA, the APB, or now the IBC, events that have at one point been on the tour but are no longer on the tour, no Pipeline, no Chopu, no Nazare, no Zicatella, no Puerto Rico, no Arica, no Australia events, no South Africa events. And in recent years, the last couple of years, the Maldives has been a shining gem on the world tour. No Maldives this year. You know, the level of incompetence with maintaining, stable year in and year out events is mind boggling to me. And if you think I'm being overly critical, you and I have both worked on the world tour. We've seen some of these epic premier events at destination locations, and they come for a year or two, maybe a few, and they go. The longest running event on the world tour continues to be Sintra. And this is nothing against Sintra, but it has always been considered the worst wave on the tour schedule. I'm at a complete loss. All I can really say is if the IBC is still in control of the world tour 2 years from now, one, I will be astounded, and two, I will be completely sickened.
Here's the part that worries me. First and foremost, at least there's a schedule. At the very, very least, bottom of the, needs of a world tour, at least there's something. What concerns me is I'm looking at this schedule and there's 3 letters followed by an asterisk in red. They're not even confirmed yet. That's the part that worries me. Iquique, Sintra, and the Wahine Bodyboard Pro. How are they not confirmed? And why? What's the holdup there? That's what worries me. Let's for instance imagine for a second those events are not confirmed. So what are you left with?
Yeah, 3 events.
Yeah,
So,
pretty
I
scary.
mean, I hate to say it, but it feels like the IBC is on the verge of collapse. As I previously mentioned, they have gotten progressively worse by the year since they took control of the world tour. And it seems to be a steady, systematic decline and an unending exhibition of incompetence.
I mean, I'm not
Am I
trying.
being overly critical and using a few too many adjectives? Maybe. But that's how I feel right now. I mean, for lack of a better word, the IBC World Tour is a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem has come full circle, is what I think. The IBC took over what the APB put together because they didn't want to pay sanctioning fees. They didn't want to pay for a director of the rural tour to come in to make sure everything's running up to spec. So they got tired of it. The promoters of the events got together and said, "Why are we spending this money to the APB? What are we getting out of it?" And so they pretty much revolted and started a whole new World Tour sanctioning body. My guess is they're probably getting bit by the same thing. Events don't want to pay for somebody to come in and watch over. the event organizers to make sure they're going over everything correctly. I don't know. That's just an assumption. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But I will say this: having a proper world tour event is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And without a proper sponsor or sponsors coming up with that money is very difficult. So I'm looking at all these events, and it's so hard. Like Itacoachara, the organizers are doing everything as they should. They're going into their local economy, finding these sponsors to help fund this event. And I believe Toyota of Niteroi was one sponsor, and they backed it up. And there's a whole list of sponsors that that they had to obtain to pull it off. It's not easy, but there has to be another way to make the world tour something that people want to watch, something that competitors want to travel across the world for, and for spectators on the beach to enjoy. It's hard.
Well, for the Itaquachara Pro, I lived in Brazil. I have worked that event. I have had personal interactions with the event organizer Juliano Lara. That is a great template of how to maintain a successful long running marquee event. The same can even be said for Fronton. You know, I've never been to the event, I've never worked it, I've never seen it in person firsthand, but Fronton has been running since that first year as an invitational in 2010. Here we are 15 years later, Fronton is still running.
Yeah.
So that's another good example. But when you have events coming and going like the Maldives, where they seem super successful for a couple of years and then poof, gone in a flash of smoke, or when you see invitational events that aren't part of the world tour that are more enticing to international competitors, like the Bocas Invitational in Panama, or this year's standalone pipeline event, or even events like the Tand Invitational in South Africa. You know, there's a problem here. There's a major disconnect. How is it possible to run successful individual invitational events, or to have one or two or three long running successful events, and everything else is a total crapshoot? You know, something needs to be figured out, because as hard as I've been and as critical as I've been towards the IBC, this is not a new problem. In the past 25, 30 years, how many sanctioning governments have we had? GOB, IBA Party Limited, APV, IBC. So every 5 or 6 years, everything comes to a head, falls to pieces, and then we have to hit the reset button. And people wonder why there is no stability in the sport of bodyboarding, why the sport is not bigger than it is, and why it seems to just linger in the background. It's because we do not have a stable sanctioning body or a legitimate world tour. Because, yeah, great. Each organization starts out great, all the gusto in the world for the first year or two, and then the wheels completely fall off the bus. We saw it firsthand, even back with the transition from IBA to IBA Party Limited. The tour had that great deal with Red Bull TV, and it experienced one of the greatest single years in bodyboarding tour history. And then the decision was made, well, we don't want to pay for the satellite trucks, so let's go with the YouTube deal, take pennies on the dollar, and a bunch of other stuff factored in, and everything went to shit. The APB stepped in. Alex Leon did an amazing job with what he had available to him, but the APB, Alex got to the point when he wanted to step back do his own thing, start a family, and I don't begrudge him that at all. I'm glad that he's got the life he gets to live. But the APD was short lived. IBC picked up the pieces, and unfortunately, they stumbled right out of the gate. Part of that wasn't their fault because of COVID and the global quarantine, you know. But since then, extreme inconsistency. Some incredible events, some absolutely forgettable events, and no real stability.
Um, maybe we throw it out at them and throw it out to the president of the IBC and invite him on and have him explain how it all runs and why are we where we are now.
I would
Um,
love that. I'll even reel in the profanity for an episode.
all right, in that case, I'll throw out an email and see what they
Because
say.
I'm sure you and everybody else has noticed when you and I were working commentary, or I was working commentary after you had gone to do other things. I never once ever cursed on camera during a world tour event or even a national event. But here on Pitted with Action and Manny V, no fucking filter whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't have to reel it in. We'll just have a discussion. I'll throw an
Okay,
email.
I'll keep it more professional, we'll say. Because if we get somebody representing the IBC to come on and talk openly about this with us, I will gladly sit and listen. And I promise I will not swear.
All right. All right.
At least not during the interview.
All right. I got IBC on my list too, so we can check that off.
All right. Now, on to your news now that I'm done with my tirade and slash news slash editorial, whatever you want to call it.
All right. I have pipeline. The event is going down. I believe a family on the island of Oahu is putting the event together. I want to say it's in conjunction with the body surfing event. I don't know any details about the event. Just the fact that they're having an event with a list of freaking riders already published that are going to be there. I'm looking at the list. Big Todd showed me the list this weekend. It was insane. ¿A qué hora tengo? ¿Hasta qué hora cierra? Okay. Oh, perfect. All right, so I got until 9 o'clock before they kicked me out of the cafe. Damian King, Jacob Romero. Can we pull that up somewhere, Jackson?
I have not
Let me.
seen the list. Big Todd,
Okay.
where are you at?
Let me see if I can pull it up. Because I think they're using the live heats. The live heats. What do you call it? Scoring system. And I believe that you can actually go on there and take a look on, and there's women too. Yeah, they got it. Do they not? No. So give me a second, but your thoughts on having the pipeline event.
I love it. There is absolutely no reason why there shouldn't be a pipeline event every year in, year out. And
Yeah.
that was part of my gripe with the world tour, not having pipeline on the event. You keep losing crown jewel events. You have them for a year, you don't have them. You secure the permit, you lose the permit. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I haven't been privy to that information, but I mean, pipeline is the crown jewel. It's the proving ground. For years and years, it was the lone event in crowning a world champion. And it may not be a standalone event, obviously, with a world tour when it was part of the world tour, but it is still pipeline. At the end of the day, that's the proving ground. That's the crown jewel. That's the event everybody wants to compete in. That's the event everybody wants to win. If you have any eyes on being a world renowned bodyboarder and proving yourself, Pipeline is the place. Pipeline is the event.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. Just know that the event does have some big names, and I believe they are going to stream it live. As soon as I get more details, I should have been a little bit more prepared on this topic. But just the fact that there is an event at Pipe with some big names, some big hitters coming out, I'm really excited. Big Todd, where are you at?
Big Todd, Bueller.
All right. One other thing. Palm Springs Surf Club. Holy shit. The last time I rode a wave pool, that was actually a wave, not the flow rider where it's a stationary wave, was I think it was 1991 in Irvine. I forgot the name of it, but it was a week, 2 foot whitewash wave. They actually had a PSAA event in it 1 year or maybe 2 years. But that was the mentality I was into driving out to the desert. We got there, and the best part about it, the Husky boys, JG, Big Todd, Carl, Mike, um, Chewy, they were all. It was more of a reunion than anything, and to have that type of reunion with some old friends at this place was a perfect match. So we get there early. We meet up. We had a good time hitting golf balls in the driving range, but everybody was amping for our 5:30 session. So we get there at 3:45. Jackson, I walk up to this glass wall and I look over and I'm like, holy shit, that thing looks like an actual rideable, rippable, barreling wave. And I'm sitting there going, everybody was just jonesing to get out there. The first waves come in. Anybody who wanted a barrel could get barreled. Anybody who wanted to do a cutback off the top, drop knee or on prone can do that too. It was a short ride, but that short second ride, maybe 5 second ride, was freaking pretty amazing. So much so, I am going to add it. I'm going to try to figure out how to add a couple of boogie trips out to Palm Springs this year. But the way we do it, we're not just going to go there for the wave. We're going to go there to find or do the tram up the mountain. We're going to go have a beer at the best bars. We're going to smoke the best local weed. We're going to do everything Epic Surf Tour style. And riding Perfect Wave is the bonus. So be ready for that to hit the epicsurftours.com website. Jackson, I would love to take you out there once you're able, fit, and ready.
April, my 50th birthday.
There it is.
If you didn't bring it up, I was going to grill you on the Palm Springs expedition because April 4th is my 50th birthday. That's my target goal, to get back on a boat. If it's me riding waves in the desert, so be it. As long as I get some barrel time. I've already started looking at airplane tickets flying out that Thursday. So you're talking, what is it? Thursday, April 3rd. Oh, I got to pull up the April calendar. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but my birthday is on a Friday. I plan on flying out to San Diego on Thursday, the first Thursday in April. And I look forward to some fish tacos at El Pueblo. If I'm looking forward to some waves, maybe a little morning boat trip. We can hash out the details, but I will be spending my 50th birthday out in Southern California. And if that includes a trip to the desert to go wave riding in Palm Springs, I'm 100% about it. I know we had talked about doing something down in Rosarito in Mexico, but I have never been to Palm Springs. The look of that wave looks incredible. I've seen footage sent to me by Big Todd, JG. You guys, I saw stuff that you posted. It looked like a ton of fun. I will gladly get pitted in a wave pool in the desert.
All right, perfect. So I'll mark it down here. I'll put it on the calendar. I'll reach out to them and try to get a hold of somebody about trying to block off an hour or two for that day, for that weekend.
I and I mean it when I say I've been looking at airplane tickets. I'm about a month out from pulling the trigger on a round trip ticket from Charlotte to San Diego.
Perfect. All right.
So,
One last piece coming from bodyboarding news on my end. You writing. If you haven't downloaded the app, um, anybody watching right now, or I'll probably send it out to the Book Life crew. But I think it is. I think it costs. I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, $10 or something like that. But if you download the app and you need a code, hit me up. I'll send you a code, and then you can have full access to you riding bodyboarding game. They just finished off season 2 of their world tour, and Mike, the owner creator, asked me to do the video wrap ups for each event and for season 2. And it just reminded me, what do you got there?
you
The
riding.
Journey. Holy crap. So that's an older version, but they have a new version that holds the latest world tour and events. But check it out for on your app. They got it for, I think they have it for iPhones and Android, but it is you riding, and you'll have a good time. They're gonna start season 3 world tour coming up next. But it's just good to reconnect with those bodyboarders and gamers that I used to talk to back in the day when I was working at you riding full time. So it's really cool.
Yuri!
Yeah. Yuri, I don't know if he's in there unless he's playing under a different name, but I think we're going to try to get him back on board. But there is a handful of Brazilian players that are still playing right now. So super cool. So you riding, download it if you haven't already done so. I'm done with news.
All right. So that brings us to the video of the week. There's been a slew of really good bodyboard videos dropped already for 2025. Honestly, if you go on YouTube and type in bodyboarding 2025, it'll pull up a bunch of new clips. The video clip I selected for this first week of 2025 is entitled Big Boogie Barrels and Boosts on Maui with Jeff and Dave Hubbard. If you go to Hubboard Movies on YouTube, it was posted a few days ago. The music's a little goofy and lighthearted, which to be expected, keeping it family
What's it
friendly.
called again?
Big Boogie Barrels and
Yeah.
Boosts.
All right, we got it. 3 minutes. See if I can get it dialed in. Give me a second.
Yeah, Jeff and Dave being Jeff and Dave, as always. I love it. And being landlocked now more than, I don't want to say ever, but for the first time in a very long time, I've been amping on YouTube bodyboarding videos just to keep me fired up. I've been out of the water for a year and a half now. I can't wait to get back out in the water, but in the meantime, watching video clips like this gets me so amped it's not even funny.
Oh my God, I haven't seen this yet. I still want to ride that wave. Oh my God, does he come out of this? Oh my God.
There you go. Answered your question.
There's a reason why he's 10 times, 11 times?
10-time world champion.
10-time world champion. And this is Jeff doing his thing.
Jeff and Dave never fail to get me stoked. Whether in the water or out of the water conversations, cruising for a meal, Always stoked on these guys.
I mean, Jeff hasn't skipped a beat. If he's in the pipe event, which I think he is, I'm gonna put a pretty big chunk of chains on him to win. How does he do that, Jackson? How does he get so high but land perfectly?
He's not human. Jeff and Dave are not human. They were born from aliens.
I may have to agree with you on that.
I picked this one. There's also some good footage available on YouTube of Jeff Hubbard and Andre Botha charging YMA shore break. Definitely check that out too.
I think I saw that one. It's like the perfect ramp.
I love watching these guys. I never get tired of watching them boost.
Wow. He's riding as if it was freaking 10 years ago.
Yeah. Jeff Hubbard in 2025 still riding as sharp as he was back in 1998.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Good job, guys. Woo.
Yeah.
Good choice.
There's a lot of videos that have already been posted this year in the first week and change that, are amp worthy material. So for all of you that, either are out of the water because of injury, winter doldrums, bad weather, whatever the reason, hit up YouTube and dive into some seriously legit bodyboarding footage. It's out there. Check it out. And with that said, our weekly motivation first for the year. A quote coming from the legendary Bruce Lee. The most unstoppable force is a person with a purpose. There you go.
Take it.
Until next time around, that's a wrap on 296. We'll see you for episode 297. Until then, stay stoked, my friends. You.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I see you guys on the live chat box. Big shout out to all you guys for chiming in live. Jackson, thanks again.
Manny, great to see you, brother. Love you. Miss you. Talk to you next time.